Hello everybody, Brook, Sergi and Margaret from Stickmen Media. Today we're actually talking about the UV mapping of the pistol in our game After the Light, our zombie horror game. I will go over and set the thing running. Sergi, do you want to tell us about the pistol?
Yeah, so here we already finished with the model, so I started to making all the UV maps and UV layout for exporting it to Substance. So yeah, what I'm doing here is just having a look exactly each piece and its transformations, the nodes in general, just cleaning up, I think.
Okay.
Each of its many pieces.
Yes.
I actually see you do a little bit of modelling in here, or at least an adjustment of one of the parts of the model.
Yeah, first before of
there it is.
UV layout, yes, I didn't like the metal piece just standing with that big place, so it's just about OCD only. Okay, so I needed to put just a small cylinder or something to fake some kind of a screw or something similar, and then so it's more believable, I think. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not sure that anybody would ever get there and go, you know what, I don't really believe this.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure someone, because if I realized, it has to be somewhere out there, you know.
But you've been working pretty up close and personal with all the tiny components. So.
That's true. So yes,
so this is all preparation for unwrap,
yes,
just going through, making sure everything's okay.
Part of the model is already unwrapped because I had to use normal mapping for this pistol. So there are like 4 parts that has a normal map, and for instance, if you have a normal map, you need to have the model unwrapped previously. So yeah, we have some unwrapping already done from the modeling stage. But yeah, basically it's what you said. It's like preparation, cleaning the nodes a little bit, and to have everything a little bit more tidy. Because at the moment there are like lots of nodes, and
it is fascinating to see it all each piece pulled out and put back in. Also, I think it helps people realise just the amount of detail that actually goes into these things.
Yeah, it's about
stuff that you don't see is actually in there, like the chambers in the pistol. And
everything is about pieces, practically. So yeah, here is 3D code. So 3D code, just.
So it crashed. Yep.
Just crashed. Not now. Yeah. Yes. What I did is hiding those parts that we already unwrap, with those that have the normal map. So that's the reason we see just partially hidden. The geometry is partially hidden. That's because I already unwrapped something for the normal map. So now I'm just exporting to 3D code the rest of the pieces and start unwrapping.
Okay, so presumably it's going to put them on the same UV map that those other pieces are already on, so it's actually adding to that.
Yes, at the beginning what I do is just I don't get too much worry about that. What I do is just unwrap everything and see that looks correct in the UV space. So that's just a clear view for me. After that, when I finish all the pieces, is then when I make the final layout, that it will be everything in the same UV space. In this case, we are using a 4K map resolution, just a single map. I use 4K for the pistol because this is something that it's a little bit very close up.
Yeah, so it's right in front of your face.
Yes. So
anytime you're actually using it.
So yeah. I'm assigning this is the new piece, unwrap, so for the back of the drum. So yeah, this is rinse and repeat for all of them. So I will put that piece into the layer that I have in Maya, so I can hide it and go to the next one. So yeah, That's it. We can go now.
That's not how it works, Sergi. We've got to talk about each detailed little piece.
Okay. So yeah, now this is the trigger frame. I call it the trigger frame. This is a simple one. It's
Trigger guard, I think that thing's called. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Because it stops you putting your finger on the trigger accidentally. You've actually got to put it inside the guard.
Okay. Yeah, I always wondered why there is this kind of frame in the guns. But
Yeah, so if you dropped it or hit it on the edge of a bench or something like that, you don't want that trigger to actually be pressed. So put a guard around it.
It's like a safe or
Yeah.
something. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice to know. So yeah, this is very simple. This was one of the most simplest shapes. So it just it has the smoothing groups. It's practically hard edges around the edges. And yeah, and the rest are just soft edges. The same. The trigger. This is using weighted normal, so this doesn't have any kind of normal map. So it is time to unwrap this one. So I export it the same we made for the frame and put it into 3D code and start unwrapping and applying, unwrapping, applying, exporting.
Yep.
And this is my life.
That's funny. And also a little sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not really. There's not many people that actually get to work making video games. That's, as far as I'm concerned, whatever your job is in this studio, it's a pretty damn good job because you're making video games.
Yeah, that's pretty sure.
We're in the entertainment industry.
It's always entertaining.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the trigger. So it maintains the weighted normal information and has the UV, the new UV. This is a ball. It's just located at the bottom of the handle. Don't ask me why. But there it is. It's a semi ball. And
No, it's probably just decorative, but in reality, if it was a real pistol, it's probably to actually weight the thing so that it pivots around your finger.
It's easy to paint, so it's very easy to just
very
paint
good.
it, so that's always good. But yeah, this is the top of the ball, and so yes, we use the same thing, unwrapping, putting lines everywhere.
Tweeting the bejesus out of this.
I am.
Excellent.
And this piece has, I think, there's weighted normals as well. Most of the parts have that technique, just repositioning the vertex normal, but not for the ones that I made the normal maps, of course. But anyway, you can mix both techniques as well. I did it for this one, not for the crossbow, I think.
Okay.
This is the big frame surrounding the drum.
The cylinder?
The cylinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the drum, anyway, so
Cylinder.
it's cylinder. Okay, the drum is for the crossbow.
Yes.
Okay.
Although realistically, you'd probably call that a cylinder as well. Yeah.
Because in Spanish will be drum. It's tambor. We say to that shape.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay, then cylinder, easier, maybe. So this is frame surrounding the cylinder and just unwrapping everything. Different planar projections for this one. I just wanted to break everything. I just wanted to have more pieces for this one, just in case I had to make any changes to the smoothing groups.
Mm-hmm.
So I just broke it in several pieces. And now I'm just fixing some geometry. But look how clean it looks.
Yes.
That's magic.
You can't help yourself, can you? Every little tweak.
Yeah. it's it's OCD mostly, but yeah,
It's not bad having somebody with OCD actually doing your models.
Yeah, because it's horrible when you see some edges that with bad lighting. I don't like to see that. But anyway, sometimes it's inevitable to have some of those.
Mm.
That's life.
Chlorini.
There you go. You asked for
Well
it.
done, Christchurch.
Not chlorini.
Who is the sponsor?
Yeah.
Put chlorine in Christchurch's water. And we're used to having the best drinking water in New Zealand.
If not the world.
I'm sure this would be the best pool water in New Zealand because you wouldn't have to chlorinate it.
Fucking
It's
hell.
already ready to go, but
So disgusting.
it doesn't make for great tasting tea.
Truly. But you said you didn't mind, so in fact
I-
you prefer it.
I don't. It gives me just some little extra thing to complain about.
Oh, that is good news. I'm sure that improves the quality of everybody's life immeasurably. Right then.
Yeah. It's the same piece, so we can keep talking.
Okay.
It's very pretty like that. I think that objects look wonderful.
Do you remember why it's done like that? Why there's colours on the map?
No.
It's the
This isn't a test, by the way. But please do explain, Sergi.
Yeah. Okay. It's just separating the island of the geometry. So you have different patches.
That is what I would have guessed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems likely.
Yeah. It's the only thing that could be. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah. That sounds provocative. Maybe.
So yeah, this piece gave me a little bit trouble, not too much, but it was because it has some different tangencies and different positions of the faces with very low geometry, so that leads sometimes to have bad lighting in the shader. So I had to unwrap better. That's the reason we saw it a couple of times.
Yeah.
And I had to use my vertex normal tools for correcting all the time and see if it looks as I want. Because as I said, sometimes it's completely normal to see something abnormal or ugly. But usually when you are texturing this, you can just fake it or just color
Well, that's a
it.
good view where you can see the island gets coloured
Yeah,
so that you can see what it corresponds to in the model.
exactly. And this is very important for me. When unwrapping hard surface, I tend to break it in several parts because, yes, basically,
Because you're destructive.
because potato. Yeah.
Because focus.
Because focus. Yeah. Why not?
Exactly.
I have the tools, so
Yeah.
There you go. And a limb library.
yes.
Mm.
Nobody can argue me with that. Or you will be part of my collection.
There's a game to be made about Sergi's basement, I think.
Yeah.
That will be, yeah.
Sergi's basement. Yeah.
Based on real facts.
Yeah. Nice. Sergi's basement is a grim
Yeah.
and interesting place.
Yeah. Basically because I have no basement, but yeah.
Right.
I can build one. So that's me.
Don't fuck it up.
Well, I thought it was working before, and then I turned the sound up because I thought, are we making any sound? And then No sound. So I pushed it all the way up, and then it started with sound. I swear we did not have a silent point that long in the thing. It's just that I think occasionally on the Twitch app there's sound, and sometimes there's not. So.
It's Twitch.
Yeah. The app, I have to say, could do with improvement.
And as I keep saying, they keep asking for feedback. Please give it.
I do.
Although that would prevent
Twitch,
you from
this is your feedback.
limit your things
The
to
app
complain
is
about,
rubbish.
which would be awful. Right. Anyway, back to the issue at hand.
Back to the boat.
Well, except for the issue is, the app is rubbish. Now, back to the issue.
I want to hurt you.
So, this is one of the metal parts.
Fuck.
Already wrapped.
That's very Adam's family. Okay, sorry.
Sergi, please carry on and do not let anything stop you.
You're sabotaging my fuck you show.
I'm sabotaging the fuck yous.
Yes, so fucking stop it.
Carry on, Sergi.
Yeah, well, we're just right in time. We changed the piece, so more excitement awaits. And this is a very I don't know which piece is this one. It's the
Cylinder?
yeah, yes. it's the cylinder. So now it's not it's already unwrapped now. Yeah, or maybe not. Here it is. So yeah, I'm using by default this layout. Layout.
So it looks like you took the ends off to do them separately.
Yeah, because as I said, this kind of surfaces are much better if you can just break it in several parts. So.
Oh, this isn't the cylinder, is it? This is
No.
this is another part. So this is at the back of the barrel.
Yes.
so-
No, not the back.
so
it's,
that's
it's
that,
the front. Yeah.
Well, yes. No, the front is the end. The bullet comes out.
Ah.
The back is the other end.
Yeah. It's,
You could use this for some horrible sort of game show, couldn't you? So name this part, and if you can't, you're going to lose a limb. It's going to go in Sergi's limb library.
for example.
Yeah.
And then if you win the game, you focus the game.
Maybe if you win the game, you go in your fucking limb library.
Huh. Yeah.
If you lose the game, oh,
Better not lose it.
yeah.
No. Yeah, this is the metal stick.
Yes.
Basically, I hate hard surface by that reason, because I don't know how to say. I mean, if I make an arm, I say that's an arm. I like it or I don't like it.
Mhm.
It
Yep.
depends on my taste.
Yep, but this is a
hard
metal stick.
surface, exactly. It's like it's a stick.
It is what it is.
It
So
doesn't
that-
have substance, anything.
That stick, I think, would have to be decorative, unless it's got a brush hidden on it somewhere.
Yeah, or it's a micro taser.
Because
Cool.
you would have one of those sticks that would pull out and you could put down the barrel if it was a muzzle loader, because you'd actually use it for tamping you know, putting your wadding in or whatever
Yeah.
down the barrel. But in this one, it's a revolver. All the bullets are at the back, all self-enclosed, so it's not actually going to have one of those.
No.
So the fact that it has one, I would say, would be a decorative item that's held over from the previous
Sure, yeah, exactly.
previous generations.
This was rescued from the other pistol, so yes, that's part of the other one.
But I mean, in the consciousness of the people in the story, that's why it would be there. It would just be decorative because old pistols used to have that. So you can sort of understand how that would evolve, and you'd end up with these decorative things that are no longer functional. Vestigial.
Like this one that looks
Vestigial,
like looks like some kind of graveyard.
Tombstone.
Tombstone, exactly. But
I like how we're rewriting history.
Yeah.
it's another useless piece in front of the gun. I think. I don't know what's this. Maybe it's not useless, but for me, I don't know exactly what kind of piece is this. But it's just in front.
Yes.
Maybe it's just because some wrapping between the handle and the barrel, and just try to wrap it together or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so clearly that's something the barrel passes through, but in modelling it we don't need to take out any space, we just leave it solid. Because what's lost? Nothing.
No.
Yeah. Complicated when you get inside.
You can see anything. Yeah, because I think it's already, I don't know if it's already combined, all the model, maybe not. No, because I'm unwrapping now, so it's not combined. I'm just putting that little thing that I said earlier. I don't know, I just felt there was something missing there. So I had to put just a box, and it's like something holding the mechanism.
Okay. I have a Twitch question for you. I don't know if you know the answer or not.
Me either.
But apparently, as affiliates, we get to make icons for followers and subscribers or something, and I don't know what that's about. Jay sent me a text the other day. Do you know anything about it?
Not a clue, but it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
We'd love to make icons. We can make icons till they came out our ass.
We can make the faces of the current zombies.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Cross-eyed Joe, we can just put the eyes more crossed.
Maybe we should have a zombie for every team member here.
Certainly when they've got that that little zombie walking across the screen that says such and such is following, we could use our own if you can change that. I'd love to change that.
You have no idea.
Yeah, why not? We have animation, so it's just making some kind of GIF or something.
Yeah. I'll have to find out.
So now it's unwrapping
the trigger?
The
hammer.
The hammer.
Yeah.
The hammer, yes.
So yes. Try to break it again into several pieces, so to just have a good unwrapping.
So I actually find it reasonably confusing to watch at such high speed.
Do you?
Yes.
Well, sorry. The reason I said do you, it was actual genuine interest here, because I think we can do a lot of cutting and splicing of our videos. I think to make some proper courseware for course material for people doing stuff, as long as they're comfortable with it at this speed.
Well, the thing is that at this speed, what can I learn unless I've already done it before or I've already seen it before? What can I really, how much more might I get out of it if we took pieces out and slowed it right down? Because at this stage, there's no way that I could go into some software and do this for myself.
True.
No,
but even so, you'd have to pause, even if you were looking at stuff at normal speed. You'd have to pause to do your stuff and then...
Surely, I mean, this is a nice overview.
Yeah. Okay.
But that is all.
All right, well, you see, your comment was of interest.
More than teaching, I see it like an overall vision about what we do. I don't see it as something educational now because of the speed and maybe because I don't speak properly. That will be another reason.
Have you heard any YouTube tutorials? Good heavens.
Yeah.
You're way better than...
There are English speakers who do not speak English.
Well, moving on to another piece.
Yeah.
Another interesting, exciting piece like this one.
Loving those hard surfaces.
The mechanical things with those shapes and curves.
So the thing that grips the side of the pistol but needed a screw to make it believable.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, for me everything is a frame, so it's a metal frame for the hammer.
So not a metal stick this time at least?
No, it's a metal frame.
Oh good.
Not a stick.
Well, a little variety.
Yes. So this was fast because it's easy.
So I think some of our usual followers from Sweden are not on. We usually hear from them by now. Oh, there he is.
Maybe they're just very quiet.
It's the sweet Henrik. How you doing, sir? Nice to have you join us at 3 a.m. or whatever time it is.
Yeah.
He says, this video is slow enough for me to understand what he's doing and how he's doing it. Thank you very much for the comment.
Good to know. Not slow enough for me.
Do you think it's worthwhile us recutting some of this stuff to make some courseware?
For people who really don't have a background in this. Right, carry on.
Yeah. Well, yeah, got to wait for him to answer.
Yeah. So now for the
Oh, back to Cox.
two cocks, exactly. Those are,
Is that what we're looking at? Is that the cock?
I suppose, depending on the.
I
Can't you
work out
tell?
what's going on?
It's the mechanical thing, cock.
Oh, well, it's not actually. It's a sort of washer thing on the back of that, isn't it? That's the cog.
That's the cock.
Yeah.
Recutting the same video.
Yes.
That's a colorful.
Across videos, because we have the pistol is really a series of videos, so we can just chop out various bits of those videos and put together the whole modelling of the pistol as a course, short course on modelling. Yeah, let us know what you think.
Hard surface. Right. Oh, that is colourful, isn't it?
That's
Wow.
a colorful. That's
Yeah.
a texture. That's the final texture.
Sheesh.
We can use it.
The candy gun.
Yeah, man, that's psychedelic, man.
It just shoots candy at
That's
them.
like the hippie peace gun.
It shoots texels. That's the joke.
Yes, if you have a sexy narrator voice to it.
It's a texel pistol.
So we don't actually get to see the texturing in this video, do we?
No. I just started this morning.
Yes, if you have a sexy narrator voice to it from the sweet Henrik.
That's what I just said.
Oh, you already said it.
Fucking hell.
I didn't realise you were reading because you didn't attribute it, so I just thought
The
you were
words
saying.
would be the same regardless.
Yeah. It's not like I was listening to
Oh, I didn't realise you were reading it, so therefore... Wow, fuck.
you. Okay, yes, if you have a sexy narrator voice to it.
Oh,
So something Spanish, yeah. Something a little bit sweary. What?
something a little bit Australian.
Catalan.
Catalan? Ah, yes.
Jesus. Anyway,
It's not so much Spanish.
No.
Catalan.
No,
Yeah.
it's another one. Language.
right.
Then we have two pistols now.
One
What?
wasn't enough.
Yes, it's for dual wielding. One of them is the old layout, and the other one is the new layout. So I think what I'm doing now, one of the things is transferring the normal maps from the old layout to the new one.
Nice comment.
At least a person that knows what's going on.
I didn't get it, sorry.
So at least not us two.
Yeah, so the sweet Henrik says, well, at least a person that knows what's going on should narrate it.
Okay.
So that rules out Brook.
Yeah.
Right,
I
cool.
know
What's
something
this
of what's
that's
going
going on here?
Now it's transferring the normal maps from the 4 pieces that I made for normal mapping to the new layout. So that's the reason we have 2 guns here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except that it's
So the
double
one that
gun
had the normal
badassery.
maps and the
Yes, well, one of them
Oh,
is each
dear.
piece is a different piece with its own UV space.
mm-hmm.
So what I did is in 3D code I just made a layout for the gun and then put it back into Maya, but because I have to transfer like what I'm doing in Mix Normal, I have to transfer the previous normal maps, 4 of them. I needed both guns just in there to be able to take the both low poly and using the transfer feature from Mix Normal to transfer one normal map to another from the old layout to the new layout.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm preparing is the SVM here for the X normal, so we can process faster. And we can see the normal map projected to the new layout. So this is done for the cylinder, and will be done for the rest of the pieces that have a normal map. So
Okay, are there any tools that actually help you when you actually lay out a UV that's merging two UV maps? Are there any tools that actually help you keep that all together?
between 3D Code and Maya, they are very good for that. So both of them, I use both for UVs. Mostly 3D Code and layout, depending on the piece. Maybe I go to 3D Code, or I just stick in Maya, so it has very good tools as well. But yeah, in here what happened is that I lost my smoothing groups when exporting from 3D Code, so I had to redo the smoothing groups for this surface.
Sorry, what's a smoothing group?
The smoothing group is the hard and soft edges.
Okay.
So you have two different groups. In this case, you have hard and soft. So I have to say to Maya and tell this is hard surface. This part of here has hard edges, and this other part are soft edges, because the normal map is based on that information. It's pretty important to keep the smoothing groups as it was done during the baking process, and because 3D Code and using something was a little bit screw up in that moment when I exported back, so I had to just correct inside Maya, and everything went fine after this. So that's the reason I always prefer maybe to make the layout in Maya, but I was experimenting with other tools in 3D Code, so yeah, I always experiment with things during the assets that I do. I like to experiment different, because sometimes you stumble with something that makes you, your pipeline make it better.
Yeah.
So I really like to discover those things and say, oh, that's great. I can use that. Or maybe you discover something that makes you go 10 times slower. That could happen.
Yeah.
Genius.
So that's the reason that it's pretty good. It's some information that you keep in your mind and makes you progress, I think, as professional. Or, I don't know.
So, well, that might answer the question. So now all that's left is, does the modeler know what he's doing? You might just have answered that question.
Yeah, I think I already answered it.
Funny.
So I can see now, looking at this model. I was wondering, because the front seemed to have these scoops in between each of the chambers, and the back didn't, and I couldn't remember that on the pistol, but it is in fact like that. That's exactly how it's.
Yeah, there were some issues inside those parts. So yeah, here we have the two models, because this was the first one I had to remake from the original model, but it doesn't have any holes on the back. But I made the second one with holes. So
even though, and I stress this, you won't be able to see it in the game.
Yeah, but I already this.
Yeah. But the reason for that is at some future point we
Exactly.
might decide to actually
and I have
make that swing open for reloading or something like that.
And that's something I have half of my work done, because first of all, because the most important are those holes that we have in the cylinder. But when you move the cylinder out of the pistol, inside you can see open faces. So that's still there. I should have to close that.
Yeah.
It's something that I just passed, and we'll do it in case we need to open that and do it the other way. So yeah, I just wanted to keep the holes open. That's the only thing I wanted.
Well, at some point I would like it if we could actually have a whole reload sequence by flicking that cylinder out. The way Matt does it with the Nerf thing, click. But yes, fast loading.
Fast loading. So yes, here we can see the both guns with some annotations in Maya, because I started to make some annotations for me, so to keep track, because this was the next day, so I just started to put this kind of text. So it was good to me for knowing exactly what I'm working with.
Yeah.
And using colors to just, if I have, it's easy to forget something because I deal with lots of files, OBJs, SVMs, texture files, scene files.
Yeah, so a good naming convention, very important
Yes,
to actually help
exactly.
keep it all together.
This is most internally for me because in the overall pipeline we use for all the game, I am in the beginning of the model, so the next one is Linda, and Linda is communicating with the programmers directly. So, but it's very important because I have to deal with lots of files.
Yes.
And then condense
and probably important for somebody who's not you as well, who's coming in along later to try and do something.
Ah, yeah, sure.
So that it should be easy for them to work out what's what.
Absolutely.
Based on the naming convention.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I mix Spanish and English in my notes. So, but anyway.
So anybody else who works for us is going to need Spanish and English.
Yeah, well, if you click the note, you will see highlighted the shape, but yeah, maybe we should need some tweaking for that before. Just tell me the day before someone will come and, audit something. I don't know. So yes, so the handle is one of those other parts that had normal maps, so I had to make the same process, transferring from one to another, from the old layout to the new layout. And using XNormal for not normal mapping, this case, just transferring normals, that it's another feature from this program. And I just mixed two different pieces, so now I'm loading the correct one. And yeah, the 3D view, just to extrude the cage a little bit, it's always good to just have some cage, even if it's not normal mapping, just transferring maps. So we can see now XNormal is transferring the map and converting into 4K resolution for Substance later. So yes, that's it. We are now in the process about transferring the normal maps that I made at the beginning of the modeling phase.
It's hypnotic.
As you can see how many folders and
yeah, no, I'm just looking at the number of files you're actually dealing with there.
It's terrible. Sometimes it's very, very big, and with hard surfaces, this kind of models have all those tiny pieces or pieces in general. It's even bigger than organic ones.
Yeah.
Limbs are easy for this. So.
Yeah, I would have said we've got lots of pieces, but I guess it's not the same.
No.
It's sort of all the pieces merge into each other.
Yeah.
Except for things like teeth and toenails.
Yeah, but it's that, because if you make a teeth, that's a teeth.
Yeah.
But sometimes when I do one of those pieces, I don't know what to.
That's
a
small round cylinder that could
that's
go
what I do.
anywhere.
Exactly. That's what I end up doing.
So the Sui Henrik says, "Do XNormal export with alpha?" He's asking the question. So do you export the XNormals with alpha?
Well, depending on the resulting format, I'm using TIFF at the moment, so basically yes, but I'm not using alpha channels for anything in XNormal. So I work with that inside Substance directly. So, but yeah, you can export the alpha channels depending on the map you're exporting from XNormal and the format, of course. If that makes sense. So yeah, the Canon is one of the remaining pieces with normal mapping. That was the first one I made for the pistol. So now I'm transferring the last one, maybe. Yes, 1, 2, 3. So maybe it's the 4th one. So yes, loading height poly. It's not high poly. It's the old low poly.
Yeah.
Loading the new low poly. Loading saying to XNormal what texture is we are going to transfer, and telling it it's a normal map, and then the output, and that's it. That's 4K resolution.
Okay.
So yeah, now creating new material, assigning the node to the cannon, sorry, to the barrel.
Barrel, yep.
Yeah,
Cannon in Spanish.
cannon in
but, yep.
Spanish. And yeah,
Oh, we just saw a metallic look to it there.
yeah, because of the normal map, it has a good shading. So I just use a font, typical font, and with the very glossiness thing to look like some kind of metalish thing. But it doesn't matter because that will go to substance where it really matters what you are doing in there. So now it's just because of the shading. And look, I don't see any kind of nasty artifact. But as I said, most of those artifacts can be fixed later. In Substance, even in Photoshop, that's one of the not good practices to do, but you can do it. Yes, but if you modify something into Photoshop like the normal map, just remember using the channels separately, not the overall channels. I mean, use the red channel or the green channel or the blue channel. If you use it all together, you will screw up everything.
Okay.
And the normal map will be destroyed completely.
Fantastic. That's good to know.
Yeah, just
Quite important.
because I think we all just tried sometime something like that. So
Trap for young players.
Yeah. So that toaster's kicking in. Right. You've gone quiet.
Well, fine.
and
Well, you weren't listening when I was talking, evidently, so I thought,
No.
oh well, what's
No.
the point?
I was listening.
And remember, if
I just
someone modifies something in Photoshop about the normal map, remember normalize the normal map after that. Because
normalise the normal map.
Yes, because if not, the blue channel will be completely destroyed, and there will be some nasty things maybe in the final product.
What does it mean, normalise the normal map?
Yeah,
Is
There's
that
a
a filter
question.
or something?
yes, it's a filter you can use with NVIDIA tools,
Okay.
or Xnormal has its own filter as well. Because usually when you deal with Photoshop, the blue channel of the normal map can be completely destroyed, I mean disappear. So of course you don't want that, so you have to use this function to just preserve the information in that channel. So just something that happens. But,
So normalising the normal map, I shall have to have a look and see what that's actually
so the
About.
normal map always have to be very normal.
Yes, normalising the normal map.
It's normal practice in the normal world.
Yeah.
You'd think that was redundant, however,
Yeah.
evidently not. Right,
Right?
blank screen, awesome.
It's not blank.
No.
Oh God! And you wonder why I go quiet.
Well, yes, you are the boisterous one. So it's a surprise when you go quiet. Isn't the normal enough, it says, he says. Isn't the normal enough?
It's a picky map. It's,
Okay.
something like that. So yeah,
Yes, you can't be too normal.
no.
Eh,
If it's not normal, it is not a normal map anymore. So remember, always be normal.
Otherwise it's an abnormal map. And
It's
that's
an abnormal map, exactly. Uncommon abnormal map.
yeah, we don't like that.
No, definitely no. This we are just building the ID map
okay.
now. So
And what's the ID map?
The ID map is a map that we use basically. For example, if we combine a figure, in this case the pistol, we can separate each piece that we want with this map. So I mean, the handle, for example, is the green color, and
Okay.
the cylinder is the blue color. This is mostly used for texturing. In this case, inside Substance. Substance reads these values and knows exactly what we are going to modify or what we are going to paint. So we use groups inside Substance, and we put this kind of mask because this is a mask basically, and then we say barrel mask, then or ID, then we can use and say this is the blue color or whatever, and pick the color, and Substance only will paint that. So everything else is mask.
Okay.
That's the ID map, or clone map for other software like T-Shot and other ones. They say different names. Clone is easy to remember because it's like a clone, you know, because of the colors and things like that. So yes, yeah, but basically it's now building this map. I tend to do it. I know that you can do some kind of transfer mapping inside Maya in the lighting and shading tabs. You can do that. You can export the ID map directly using assigning the materials and everything else.
Yep.
But I prefer the old way to do it with Photoshop. For me, just what I do, my methodology is very simple. It's just going to the UV map, select the faces that I want to export. I export the UV map, as we can see in there.
Yep.
And then this UV map is selected in Photoshop and painted directly with a color, and drag and drop into the final output map that I will use in Substance. It's more manually, but I think I feel I have much better control of the padding of the shells.
Yeah.
So for me, it's better to do it this way, because with transfer maps in Maya, sometimes I had some blank spaces not filled with anything because of the transfer, not nature maybe of Maya, I don't know. But you can do it inside Maya, as I said, in the lighting, shading tab, transfer maps, I think is the option. You can transfer lots of different maps, not even the ID, but ambient occlusion as well, you can transfer inside Maya, but I prefer X normal. So everyone has its tools and things to make.
Yeah.
But but for me, the ID map is, I feel I have more control doing this way. So I feel more comfortable and I know exactly what I want, because I just go myself directly to the UV map.
Okay.
So yeah, now we are building all the pieces into, as we can see, this is the process. I just select the UV shell, all the UV shells, sorry. I just make a new layer in Photoshop. I fill the layer with a solid color. I put it into the output map. I just rename the layer because I save. This is another reason that I like to do it this way, because I have the ID map in a PSD format, Photoshop, so I can recover it whenever I want, and I have everything in layers, so I can hide or expand or do whatever in a non-destructive way. So for me, it's much better to do it if Photoshop is in the middle of the process, because I have his format, and the format of Photoshop is very good for that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can do it at home safely.
Can't hurt yourself doing
it.
Might hurt other people, but
very good, because there were some pointy bits in there.
It's good to know.
That's a very cool cartoony vibe, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything full of colors.
It looks like you know, something that a kid could kind of pull apart and put together.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, have you guys seen the Nintendo Labo?
No.
No.
Fucking believably cool.
Nintendo what?
The Nintendo Labo.
It's the cardboard
thing that you can use with the fuck, what's it called? Switch.
Switch.
Oh.
Yeah, with its controllers and the thing itself. And, it's just amazing. It's just fucking brilliant.
I'll have a look.
You really must. It does way more than it says on the tin.
So what's an example that you can do with the Labo? What can you make?
You can make a piano out of it.
Okay.
It's really fucking amazing with keys and everything. It's phenomenal when you can change.
And then you can play them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you make something out of cardboard and then play it.
It's very educational. It's very educational.
Yeah, it's just amazing. I mean, it's not just something that a kid would want to play with. It's quite like, really want to get
clearly
out.
It's something a Margaret wants to play.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Do you have your own Switch yet, or are you forced to use the same ones that the kids have got?
No, I'm not forced to. Sometimes I get to have a turn, put it that way.
Okay, so you need a Switch at home. So.
I would quite like a Switch, actually. It's one of the first things I've ever played that I just went, fuck, that's cool.
Birthday's coming up in a few months, so there's a few hints for people. Margaret needs a Switch.
That's a Nintendo Switch,
Yes.
not a light switch.
Yes. Not something to just turn her off and on. For
Yeah, not something to hit me with.
a Twitch switch so that we can turn the swearing on and off.
I'd like turning it off. No one's succeeded so far.
I think there are few pieces remaining.
Okay.
The only thing is that I have to choose a color that I already don't have in the map. Sometimes I feel myself looking into the gradients and hues and everything and see what I need, what I have, what I don't have.
Well, at the moment there's nothing there that's a violent clash, so I gather the next thing you should use is something that's a violent clash.
So yeah, and I'm masking in Maya with a layer about or what pieces I have already in the UV, I use UV, and into the ID map. So yes, I always put that in this window. I tend to work in the other window.
Yeah.
But I put it in here because of a process.
I have to say that's
So
a
that
very
we can
arty
see it.
selection of colours you've got there.
Yeah.
It is an arty selection
Yeah.
of colours.
It's- I don't
So a
include
verdant grass green would just not look that good in there at all. Where everything's a little move towards the pastel-y.
Yeah, I'm quite impressed.
Mm.
Looks like shit on a transparent background though.
It's a little bit better with transparency. Usually you have to remove the background and just leave it transparent because of substance. Because if not, transparency is another color for substance as well.
Okay.
If you don't have transparency, I mean. But anyway, I prefer just to put it in transparency, and that's for me just avoid if I click it somewhere else, and at least there is no color. If not, there is color. I don't know what substance could start painting. That will be unpredictable behavior.
Unpredictable behaviour is never good behaviour.
Predictable
Okay.
behavior.
You notice we never talk to screen now. We've all got in the habit of looking up there.
I know.
Nobody talks to screen.
Talking above everybody's heads.
I think the reason for that is taken away. We're not watching Twitch on that screen anymore. Watching Twitch on here.
I'm not.
Well, you seem to be.
I check it from time to time, but I'm not actually watching it. You sit there watching it when you should be talking to us.
No, I don't. I just check in to see if there's any text, any messages.
Now it's time to combine normal maps. I use a plugin for Photoshop if I need to combine them outside Substance. So I use this tool that it's pretty handy to combine all the normal maps and not losing any information if you just do it with an overlay blending mode in the layer stack of Photoshop. That will be a very bad practice, because if you use just the overlay, everything looks awful. Well, not awful, but you lose some normal information. So
Yeah.
you need to use another algorithm for that. And that plugin is very handy. It's free and good for the body.
Free is good. If it's good, that's even better.
Yeah, exactly. It's free. So yes, at this stage, I think normal map is a single 4K texture ready for Substance. We already have the ID map for Substance. The model is combined. If I'm sure about this, I think it's combined, and it's everything almost ready to send to Substance.
Okay.
Maybe not yet ready. This was on Friday. I can't remember exactly what I was doing now.
So what have you pulled the what do you call that bit?
Guard? Cover?
No, the
Handle?
grip.
Grip.
What have you pulled the grip off for? What was that?
I don't know. I thought that.
Just felt destructive in the
Yeah,
moment.
this is what I was saying. This was made on Friday. I thought that maybe it was already done, ready for Substance, but I'm seeing that maybe there was something to fix before sending it to Substance. Because the ID map and normal maps are ready, and occlusion will be baked into Substance using just the low poly and a blur filter to make it look right, and it works perfect. And yeah, so we are in Photoshop again. Maybe there was something wrong. We can see all the maps, and then yeah, suppose it's just a couple of things fixing, and that's it. Nothing. Renaming, maybe making the PSD file and sending the final output map into a specific folder for Substance. Now I'm saving the PSD, and now I'm finally opening Substance and prepare.
What is that part we're actually looking at?
What is what?
That part where we're actually looking at in the normal map, it's got a strange shape that goes like that.
Oh, one
I
of
was
the.
trying to work out what that actually was.
Maybe it's the whip. I think could be the
Okay.
whip. Cannot remember exactly because I made 4 of them, 4 different maps for this piece. I mean for this asset.
Yeah.
So now I think I'm exporting the final mesh for Substance because the maps we already have all of them. So yeah, it's like doing more new folders for changing the workflow to texturing. Yeah, triangulating because as I have lots of normal information, I prefer to paint with a triangulated geometry inside Substance. I see it correctly much better. The maps that I already made.
So the conversion from triangle to poly,
There it is.
or from poly to triangle, is just a normal slicing a poly diagonally, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's how you actually get your triangle map, and that's what the GPU does all the time with polygonal.
Exactly. So you forget about engons or whatever, anything else that you have in the geometry. So yeah, we are setting up Substance now. So we have first of all we have the model, and then we are going to start with all the groups. The groups means
beautiful.
yeah, that's done. That's, so
That does look good. Even it's just if the pistol were just like that, it would look good.
So yeah, now we are preparing the layer stack with all the groups and all the ID. That's the ID map, how Substance draw it. So we can just mask everything, just clicking on.
So we can see what parts are what. On the, Yep.
So that's a very graphic view. So yeah, we can see we are making some groups. Just preparing all of those parts that I am just clicking and reading from the color and preparing everything. Inside each group, we can see in the layer stack will be all the materials and colors and shit and whatever everything. So that
and shit and stuff.
a big layer stack. Only the groups, you can see the layer stack with only the groups.
You built up quite a hierarchy there.
Yeah, I usually tend to sometimes use different texture sets inside Substance. Texture set means that you can break up the model into different pieces, so you have different layer stacks, not only one. But the good thing about doing this way for me is
So how would you break those up? Would it be like by material? So would it be wood and metal? Okay.
Yeah, you just assign different material in Maya, and then Substance will read those materials and convert it into texture sets. That means you can have different layer stacks. But for this case and for the crossbow and King Leon and blah blah, I don't tend to use it now.
Yeah.
Because this is handy because I can send the output maps directly into Unreal.
Yeah.
Because if not, I shall have to combine all those texture sets. So yeah, I prefer to take the risk to that Substance will not die with all that layer stack. And at the moment everything went fine, so I pushed the limits of my life.
Risk taker then.
Yeah, it's a risky life.
Gosh.
Yeah.
All right, we're just about at the end there, Sergi. So what did you want to say about the process?
Well, maybe this is not the most fun process. It's a very mechanical process about doing all these things, but it's a very important part between modeling and texturing.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go through this, basically. But thankfully, today's standard, it's much easier and fun to make these things than before.
Yeah.
Before it was more tedious. That's UV mapping and UV layout and transferring maps and everything, so we can see the final pistol, all the maps that we have, and the layer stacks are hidden, but that's it. So we have ready to texture.
Excellent.
Just
Okay.
in. How good is
So
that?
a future episode will be texturing that pistol. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Thanks in particular to the Sweet Henrik for popping in and having a chat with us. So Brook, Margaret and Sergi here from Stickmen Media in our continued series on developing the game After the Light, our zombie horror game. We'll be back again tomorrow at New Zealand Standard Time 1 p.m. That's UTC plus 12 for anybody that doesn't know what New Zealand Standard Time is. So we'll see you then. So bye for now, everybody.